This is the Marvel Legends series, Gamerverse, Marvel's Juggernaut. I wasn't really interested in getting this one, but there was so much hype surrounding this figure, I just had to pick him up. Judging from the price tag you can see right here on this figure, I picked it up at my local Toys R Us store. Let's get this bad boy out of packaging. And here is the Juggernaut out of the box, and boy, this thing is huge. The Juggernaut has always been one of my favorite villains in the X-Men universe. Reading up the comic books and just watching the cartoons, this figure feels like it is the character in the comic books and the cartoons just popping out of the screen, or the comic books just coming to life. It is gorgeous. Now, I do have a slight reservation about this figure, which I'll talk about later, but as it is a treat to just have this thing on your shelf and interact with your other X-Men and Marvel Legends figures. What an incredible figure from Hasbro. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new Gamerverse Marvel Legends Juggernaut. Head to toe, this behemoth of a figure stands at a staggering 23.5 centimeters tall, or about 9.25 inches tall. He towers over other big Marvel Legends figures such as the Maximum Series Incredible Hulk, as well as the Gamerverse 2-pack Thanos. The figure comes with some accessories. He's got an extra pair of hands, the gripping hand and the splayed out or reaching out hand. I thought these were pretty cool add-ons, but let's face it, everybody wants to display him with his punching hands. And he also comes with the Dragon Ball Z blast effect. No, I'm kidding. It's easy to put on. But you'll have to remove one of his, I guess, gauntlets or straps on his hand, and you just snap it on, and it acts like he's doing a power punch. Now, the figure has very limited paint apps, which I think is a good thing, because, you know, in the past we've had some really shoddy workmanship with paint apps, like the flesh bleeding into the uniform and all that, and they've addressed that by having separate pieces for the straps. You've got all molded brown and maroon plastic and flesh pieces for the body. The only bit of paint on him are here, the soles of his feet, which kind of leaves a mark on the review station, and that head sculpt. Now, speaking of that head sculpt, wow, what an incredible design. Well painted, look at those eyes and those teeth. It's unfortunate we don't have a removable helmet or an unmasked Juggernaut, but then I realized nobody would really want to display their Juggernaut without the helmet, the psionically shielded helmet. Come on. So, okay, good job, Hasbro. So, the details of the figure, let me just give you a close-up look on that. I mean, every inch of this figure has a lot of comic book accurate as well as cartoon accurate details. And I like the fact that they didn't turn it into sort of a game accurate figure with a lot of that mismatched colors with some shading here and there. I'm glad it's really like something straight out of the comic books. As far as articulation goes, the neck is, I believe, on a ball joint. There's a rotation left and right 360. You can move it up or down. So I think it's on a peg. I don't want to find out by removing it. I might risk ruining the figure. The shoulders have butterfly hinges, also hinges that allow you to move the arms in and out, forward and backward 360. He's got a bicep swivel and an elbow swivel. I don't think they could have made a double hinge with this elbow because of the sheer girth and size of his muscles. So there's also a hinge that allows you to move the elbows and the forearm up and down. The wrists are on swivels and hinges. You've got ball joint hips that allow you to sort of do the splits, kick forward, a little bit backward. You got a thigh swivel, swivel knee, and a hinge. Ankles go up and down and have the rocker tilt as well as toe articulation. Now let's talk about this upper torso. On my copy at least, there is no left and right motion. I don't know why. I think it's frozen or what, but there is an up and down and a side-side motion, but no lateral swivel left and right. I don't know if mine is stuck. Somebody let me know in the comments below if your Juggernaut swivels left and right, because I don't want to force the issue on my copy. I'm probably just going to break it. The other thing I'm worried about with this figure are these thin-ish ball joints, which I don't know, but because of his sheer mass and weight, I wouldn't be surprised if those pegs were the first one to break. Look how thin they are. I mean, Hasbro, was it on purpose because of engineering so that he could do a little bit more of the splits? But I am scared. I cringe every time I try and articulate the hips, because I feel anytime now that thing could give, or maybe not anytime now, but over a few years, those things are going to get brittle if you have him displayed and exposed to the elements, sunlight, you know, oxygen and whatnot. But yeah, I just think those bits of fragile pieces or delicate pieces kind of ruin the playability of this figure. It's a great looking piece, great for display. I'm just not sure if it's something you'd want to mess around and play around with, given those two semi-flimsy joints. And you can clearly see how he wiggles. It's not as solid, so I'm a little bit disappointed with that. And so some final thoughts on this Gamerverse, a Juggernaut. My goodness, it is such a treat to have this kind of massive Juggernaut in any Marvel Legends X-Men collection. However, I feel it is just an articulated statue for me. There's not a lot of playability, not a lot of dynamic posing involved with this figure. It's just a big figure that you can put in your collection, maybe set up as a diorama piece, but not really something you can mess around with and bash figures with and all that and play around with. I think that the purpose of this figure was really as a display piece. I think if that's the original purpose of Hasbro designers for making this figure, then I think they've achieved that perfectly. But as a play figure, I am really worried about that central torso joint not having a swivel, or even if it did have a swivel, I feel it's a very flimsy joint, as well as those ball joints for the pelvis, for the hips. Those really, I don't know, they kind of scare me that this thing might not last a couple of years if you keep playing and posing and getting him in different other poses here and there. As a display piece, if you just have him standing around with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or whatnot, or the X-Men, he's perfect. He is a great shelf piece. But other than a great shelf piece, I think that's the only thing I can see great about this figure. So I don't know. I have mixed thoughts about it, mixed feelings about it, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it, because I like to keep my figures posed in different poses here and there. I love playing around with them, and for this thing to have some form of delicateness and fragility, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. So I think I'm going to give this one maybe just a 9 out of 10. I can't give it a perfect score. I originally thought this was going to be one of my legendary 11 out of 10 figures, but the torso articulation, or lack thereof, and those hips are fundamental to any massive figure, in my opinion, and I think Hasbro needs to work on that. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this Marvel Legends Gamerverse, the Juggernaut. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel and please subscribe. Thanks for watching.